Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about a couple different cell phone plans that in the United States that you can get. Three of the major carriers for prepaid companies. Let me clarify that. First one is going to be, we'll do three of them. First one's going to be Boost Mobile. Second one's going to be Cricket. And the last one's going to be Metropcs. And I'm going in this order because Metro is the last one that I want to talk about, because for me, that's my current service. I had all three, and I feel that this is the best value out of the three. Anyway, let's break it down, because there are a lot of different companies out there. These Mint Mobiles, you have, I'm not even sure if H2O still exists, but there with a lot of these prepaid companies out there that offered you a basic service, barely any customer service, no features for just people just wanted to talk and text and have internet. But over the years, especially over the decade, a lot of the plans have changed where a lot of these prepaid carriers, again, Metro, can actually rival a contract company in terms of plans. Not necessarily the phones that they offer, but at least the plans that they offer and pricing could be substantially better and save you a lot of money. Trust me, there's a lot of people out there that still have contract plan, not contract, but, paying full price for a generic phone that costs $200, or that you can get by switching over to a different prepaid carrier for cheaper. So we're just going to go over right now just the plans itself. All right, so first we have Boost Mobile here. And to be honest, this is 1,000% the worst out of these three companies. Boost Mobile still, at one point, Boost Mobile was actually going to use the T-Mobile network, and they did for about a good month or so, roughly. I could be wrong on that, but I had that service, and it was like they used a T-Mobile SIM card, or a SIM card that had T-Mobile network on it around the time that the Sprint and T-Mobile merger was going on. So what ended up actually happening is Sprint was bought by T-Mobile. They still needed, I believe it's 4 major carriers. So it's AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and then Boost Mobile became a major carrier, which is never going to be major, but they needed that 4th carrier for, I guess you could say, competition. Though I think Metro would have been a much better choice, but Metro's with T-Mobile network, so that's not happening. And I'm sure they're generating a lot of money with Metro customers. Anyway, so Boost Mobile does have multiple plans. The first one we're going to talk about the fact that there is a $10 1 gigabyte plan that does have unlimited talk and text. All these plans are going to have unlimited talk and text. The difference is the size of gigs. Now, I will say about Boost Mobile right now is that if anyone currently has Boost, maybe you're grandfathered into a different type of plan, but for any new customer, Boost Mobile, excuse me, a little underneath the weather, does not offer any truly unlimited LTE plans anymore. That is done. They do not do that. Their data plans tend to have a certain amount of gigs before it slows down to 2G speeds. Let's be very clear, 2G, 3G speeds, which is horrible, which is the worst possible thing you could do. And I'm surprised that a company even still does that. So for $10, keep in mind that this plan says BYO, customers only, meaning bring your own device. And typically when you bring your own device that still uses like a CDMA type network, you're better off just bringing an unlocked iPhone, because Apple devices, I will say, even though I'm not a huge fan of them, work perfectly in terms of software and whatnot whenever you take that device over to a different carrier, because it doesn't have that carrier bloatware. It doesn't have all of that nonsense that can stop your phone from working properly, like picture messaging and all that. Your phone is just going to work the way it should. The $15 plan, same exact plan, but the difference is you get 2 gigs of data. And it seems weird. I don't know if this is a typo or a mistake where one plan has 1 gig of hotspot. 2 gigabyte plan just says it does include a mobile hotspot, but it doesn't tell you how much. So I'm just going to assume you're just using the 2 gigs. $25 for 5 gigs. At this point, when you're getting in $25, $35 range, this is typically what most plans offer, like prepaid plans where you get 5 gigs of data. So we're going back to normalized plans. The $10 and the $15 plan is typically what you would give someone that's using, I don't know, a flip phone, or like it could be any Android device, but they may just really care about talking, texting, and you would definitely need some type of Wi-Fi connection, or you would be an older person not insulting old people, but typically an older person that's learning a smartphone or isn't interested in all the features. They just want to do A, B, and C. But to be honest, a gig is laughable because you can download an update and your gig will be gone. The $35 plan actually offers 10 gigs of hotspot. Now, I will say that there is a promotional plan. Well, it's not really promotional, but it's the shrinkage plan, which does increase your data size, but you'll start off at $45. And over time, in 6 months, your bill will shrink. So you'll have 15 gigs of data over 6 months. I'm going to assume that you could use that data as hotspot, or if we actually dive into the plan, call customer service, they'll let you know how much hotspot you actually get. But remember, the Sprint network, you cannot talk on the phone and be on the internet at the same time unless you're using Wi-Fi. As ridiculous as that sounds, that's true. You cannot receive picture messaging while on the phone. You have to hang up to see what you're looking at. You can send text, but if anything that you send is picture-wise, so we're talking memes and different things, you probably can't send that because of the fact that their network runs off the old Sprint network that in truth should have never existed in the first place. Excuse me. Now, they do have supposedly unlimited lines where you have higher hotspot. The data supposedly gives you 35 gigs of data. That's the cap. But when you read the fine print, guess what? Right here, it says reduced to 2G speeds for the remainder of the month. So I was wrong. It's not even 3G. They're so disrespectful. They don't even give you 3G. They give you 2G. To be honest, outside of the $10 and $15 plan, there's no reason to own Boost Mobile at all, unless you just need like a cheap landline, house line. But remember, your devices aren't going to support HD calling. Even if it says it does, it's the Sprint network, which was never clear. It was always cloudy and chalky. It didn't sound good. When I recently had this service, it sounded awful. Even when I had my Bluetooth headphones in my ears, even if I talked on the phone speaker itself, it was muffled. I sound underwater. It's just a horrible, horrible network. And I really don't suggest anyone going to Boost Mobile. If you walk into the store, you'll see deals on the walls, iPhones for $49 and all that. And yes, it'll be tempting. Absolutely, it'll be tempting. But it's not a good network. If you already have Boost, then, stick to what you like. But typically people that already have mediocre service are going to be okay with sticking with mediocre service because they're not sure that the grass is greener on the other side. And they're just, used to being familiar. Anyway, I don't want to stick to Boost Mobile because it's awful. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about Cricket. Wait for this to load. Now, I don't have an issue with the Cricket network per se. Now, the data speeds are not fast. What I mean by that is I know they have it somewhere on their website. We'll just talk about the plan first. But while I'm doing that, they have it where you get a certain download speed. I think it's like 8 megs maximum, depending on which plan that you have. And that's not good at all. Because if you're playing a game like Call of Duty, which I tried to download Call of Duty on my device, it took over an hour to download this one application, which is a couple gigs, because the speeds are so abysmally slow. Like it's ridiculous. It does have the AT&T network. So if you're more so, I have the network. I only want it for where I work, just everyday traveling. I'm normally hooked up to Wi-Fi, especially at home or whatever. I only need it for GPS and certain things. You're perfectly fine. The service will work out for you. Now, I guess I'll just talk about this now. When it comes to customer service, I'm going to say Metro is the best out of the three, but we'll get back to that. The reason being is same with Boost Mobile, same with Cricket. Be very, very clear about this fact. When you change your plan, like we're looking at the plans now, there starts at 30, it works its way up. 60 and 55 are both unlimited plans, but one offers, the cloud storage, 150 gigs, 15 gigs of hotspot. It has the highest speeds. So here we are. This one, data speeds max out at 8 megabytes, which is a joke, especially for today's standards where you're paying $55 for a plan. That's horrible. Cricket speed temporary slowdown when the network is busy. It's already slow. If you're dealing with 8 meg download speeds, that's not fast. If that's your maximum speed, because AT&T speeds are substantially faster. Let's not get them mixed up. This is just the prepaid version of basically AT&T, in my opinion. And you cut down the speeds less than, I don't even know how slow you cut them down. This is insane. And if it gets congested in a busy area, it's already not fast. So you're telling me that my speeds are going to be even slower. That's one of the reasons why I left Cricket, because one, the customer service is awful. Two, if I decide to change my plan from 55 to 60 or 40 to 55, you're required immediately to pay that difference. Otherwise, your services will be cut off. That's not how things should be done. That's not how contracts do things, where you go to a Verizon or AT&T, a T-Mobile. If you feel as if my plan is too slow, I want to go to the unlimited everything plan. They allow you to make that change, and they prorate you on the next month. Now, for anyone to see this video and say, well, that's prepaid, Ian, that's prepaid. No. That's not how it works. Because Metropcs does, they do prorate you the difference onto your next month's bill, which makes things easier for a person that may have made a mistake on their plan. They might have decided to use more data. They might have decided, I need unlimited this month. I use 10 gigs on Amazon Prime, or downloading a game. I play online. I play competitively. There's many different reasons, and having a more user-friendly company is always the better thing. Not to mention they actually offer perks. Cricket used to offer Deezer with a music service, where I think they changed the name at one point to Deezer or to something else, and they don't anymore. I don't know if they must have lost that contract or it didn't work out very well, wasn't very popular, but they don't offer anything whatsoever. Their phones are extremely bloatware. Like the moment you turn your phone on, you're into those Cricket services, you're into the side Cricket apps. The only way you can uninstall those applications is either jailbreaking your phone, which, to be honest, in 2021, I'm not jailbreaking anything. I'm 35. I'm not interested in that. I just want my phone to, come out of the box the way it should be. Or, again, using an Apple device, which has basically no bloatware from any carrier already on it that you can see. We're not talking about settings in a phone or network settings. We're just talking about visual bloatware that takes up space in your phone, which you basically don't need. I don't want Candy Crush pre-installed. Sorry, I don't play that game. So you shouldn't decide that for me. Anyway, enough of that rant. Their plans start off at $30, which offers 2 gigs of data, HD voice, and Wi-Fi calling. Now, for years, they didn't offer Wi-Fi calling. And for years, they didn't offer HD voice. HD voice does make a difference, especially if you're using a phone that supports it, and both of you have that on both sides. You're going to have extremely good call quality. Again, T-Mobile, in my opinion, even out of the major carriers, T-Mobile Metro has the best call quality in terms of not signal, but call quality, just clarity of listening to someone talk to you. To me, their HD calling is the best. The other ones are leaps and bounds behind, and it just amazes me how they're so popular, and yet they offer so little. The $40 plan offered 10 gigs of data. Basically, literally the same exact plan, except just more data. The 55 is now where things get a little more interesting, because this is a truly unlimited supposed plan until you reach a data cap, which I believe was 22 gigs or 25 gigs. It's one of the two. I don't remember. But either way, it's still a very low data cap. And then their speeds slow down to, I want to say 4G, just to be nice, but it could be 3G, which will be awful if it is, but I'm just giving them benefit of doubt and say 4G. The standard video for a lot of companies is typically 480p, unless you actually pay for 720 or 1080 for the prepaid carriers, which might cost you $5 or $10 more. But for me, I don't care about that. I prefer playing my Netflix and my Hulu, Crunchyroll, Funimation, and all that in 480p, sometimes 240. I know it sounds crazy, because it just, the network speeds are better, especially if you're in a congested area. I don't have any slowdowns, buffers, and all that. Plus, the picture still comes out clear. It doesn't come out cloudy or anything. Plus, I keep subtitles on, whether I'm watching dub or sub. So, we're Works out very well. Now, the $60 plan actually comes with hotspot, the 15 gigs of hotspot. It does have 150 gigs of cloud storage. Again, I don't need to pay more money for cloud storage when there's Google Cloud, there's the Photos app. Even though I think next month in June or July, they're going to start charging you for space similar to Apple, where you won't get as much space and you just need to pay like $1 or $2, whatever it is, in order to basically have more storage space. And I'm okay with that. Back when I was younger, I never did that. I used to constantly back up my photos and download them and put them on a computer, which I still do, because it's good to have an extra hard copy on a flash drive in case, clouds aren't perfect. But I don't mind paying a couple dollars to get a couple hundred gigs in the cloud or a terabyte. I'm actually currently using, I believe it's Google One. Comes with my plan. So, I'm covered. But I do have Google One. I still use the Google Photos app to back everything up. I'm also use Google One, I believe, or Drive, whatever it is, to download, to keep actual applications and computer applications, certain things that I carry on my Windows 8, 7, my 10, and all that. Because I don't want to carry a flash drive. I don't want to do that. But like I said with Cricket, one of the reasons I don't really suggest Cricket, if you have your own device, Cricket's awesome. If you have your own device, it's a great service. The problem is that when you buy devices for Cricket, you're typically paying. Actually, I'm on a screenshot. I'll show you. Screen record, sorry. They typically charge way too much money for the most generic phones. And this is the difference between Metro and Cricket. Cricket right here, this A01 is one of the worst possible phones you can get. It's like the bottom of the barrel phones, and they want $109 for it. While if you were to go to Metro and do a new account or switch over, this phone is free. You're just paying for the first month of service. A lot of these phones that they have, like the SE is a good deal, because most carriers have good SE deals, but it fluctuates with Cricket. One week it'll be $49, the next week it'll be $149, another week it'll be $199. So you just have to catch them when they're having a decent sale. The XR isn't a bad price, the $249. I might even mention any of these fake Android phones. I've never heard of them. They're all generic, cheap phones that are probably 32 gigs or 16 internally, which shouldn't even exist anymore. The Moto G Power, $59 isn't bad, but I will say that literally you can go to Metro and get the Moto Ace, right? There's a 5G phone, 128 gigs, 6 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 750G, 5G phone, for $29.99 as a port versus this $59 phone that doesn't even have 6 gigs of RAM in the phone. I believe it's only 64 gigs internally. This isn't even worth talking about. A11 skip, A12 skip. These are all, both of these phones right here are free when going to Metro. And we're not talking porting, just adding a line or a new account. It's still free. Porting deals are typically even better. These are generic low-end phones. The Silo 6, I can't believe they even still sell that phone. Moto G Play, which is worse, by the way, than the Moto G Power. They're selling for more. Okay, I guess because it's newer, if you want to say that. I'm not even sure that's the 2021 version of the G Power. The K92 isn't a bad phone. It's closer to me like the OnePlus N10 5G, which I would suggest that phone because OnePlus is a non-dying company. LG, I believe they already announced they're not going to be making any more new phones. I know they're making a rollable smartphone or something, and they're going to release that, but there's no reason to jump to a dying company that I don't know if they're going to stay into the mid-tier market. If they do, awesome. If they don't, they won't be missed, to be honest. The A32, absolutely not. You can get an A52 5G, which is what I'm currently on, that has a 120 hertz screen for $199 for Metro if you switch. $249 as a new account. This A32, it's not a high-end device. It's not even a mid-tier device in my opinion. It's substantially lower. They want regular price for that. So again, when you look at these phones, typically with Cricket, you're normally paying regular price for the phones that matter. You do occasionally get a deal on an iPhone. That's why I say you can literally buy your own phone and just pop a SIM card in it, and Cricket would be an ideal service if you wanted that AT&T network strength in terms of talking, but not internet speeds. It's laughable. All right, so sorry for being so blunt in the video. It's just that when I talk about certain companies and how they purposely take away features and still charge you the same amount, that's not a good business model. And quite frankly, I don't even know how they're still in business, but someone's paying for them. So lastly, we have Metropcs. And they have their faults too, especially when it comes to swapping devices. It's a headache. You have to call customer service. You have to read IMEIs. Sometimes it works. A lot of times the system could be down when it comes to swapping. So they're not perfect in this area, but they do have substantially better plans. Like there's six, actually, what am I doing? I'm talking to you about it without actually showing you. We're going to skip the $40 plan. Don't care about that. We're going to go straight to the 50 and 60, which if you have a contract, $50 or $60 is not a big deal. This flat rate, taxes are included. So when you get your bill, if you do pay $64, it's because you're paying in store. If you pay over the internet or over the app, which is very reliable in my opinion, I haven't had an issue with it so far. Maybe like twice in, excuse me, goodness, twice in 2 years or something. I had to call customer service. I let them know, like, listen, I tried to pay over the app. It was down. They waived that $3 fee to pay for devices, but recently it increased to $4. That's why I say the price difference. The $50 plan, like I said, includes 5 gigs of hotspot. You have your 100 gigs of Google One membership. That's on the $50 plan. Cricket was $55, and you would get 150 gigs of, no, I'm sorry, the $60 plan included 150 gigs of whatever backup from whoever. But this actually is from Google itself. You get 5 gigs of hotspot. Obviously, you have access to the 5G network. That's given as long as you have a 5G compatible phone. Otherwise, you'll still be in 4G LTE, which is also fine because the 5G infrastructure isn't quite up just yet. But I will say for anyone that gets 5G, for me, I've used over, I'll show right now, I used over 100 gigs in my on my internet every single month. Now, Metro supposedly slows down after 35 gigs to give you a warning. But I noticed since I have 5G, it doesn't feel like my speed slowed down at all. As you can see, I wouldn't have used basically 100 gigs plus 111 gigs as a matter of fact. So I definitely use my services a lot on my phone. All right, so again, like I told you before, with the Metro service, you can call customer service, you can make changes. Certain things you will have to pay up front, like an extra gig of data, extra gig of hotspot data, if you get like those add-ons. But if you do things like call blocker, you want to be able to view your call logs. I think they allow you to view like 90 days worth of call logs if you pay $1. Like some of those features will be put onto next month's bill. If you decided to upgrade to the $60 plan, that $10 difference will be on your current bill rather than you having to cough up the money immediately. And they did have 24-hour customer service, but since COVID, people were working from home, the hours do vary. But depending on what happens after all the cities open back up and people may or may not work back in the office, they'll probably have 24-hour customer service again. Either way, very reliable network. If you want to swap devices, you can do that from the website, which is what I suggest because it's simplistic, it's very easy. They actually updated the system where it'll ask you, do you want to use the same SIM card? It didn't used to do that before. So originally, when you tried to swap a device back in the day, when I say back in the day, we're talking about a few months ago, like last year, it required you to use a brand new SIM, which was silly. But now it will allow you to use your same SIM card if you want to, which most people do. You can just swap the same SIM card as long as it's not too old, and all your services will work. Now, the $60 plan includes Amazon Prime. And what that means is you have Amazon Prime Music, streaming service, you have Amazon Prime, the video service, and you have Amazon Prime, the actual video app. I'm sorry, video app, shopping app. That's that automatic 2-day delivery, and if you pay the extra fee, you can pay for next day or same day shipping or next day shipping. I will say that it's much better than having to just use Amazon by itself because those fees without having an account is insane about what they charge you just to get something in 2 days, you're looking at $5.99, $6.99. Like, you could just pay for a membership, especially if you're the type of person where I order things every month. So I definitely make up my money when I pay for this plan. It does come with 15 gigs of hotspot. For me, I used to use that hotspot for certain games because I don't get great Comcast service where I am. So I did end up switching over to the T-Mobile Internet Hub. Love it. Canceled my Comcast. Never going back. So I don't use my hotspot anymore. But if I'm in a car or something, I'll probably, have a kid in the back, which most of my godchildren, they're on my plan, and they have either tablets or phones that have their own connection, but you never know. So the hotspot is a good thing. But yes, I was getting back to the customer service. Boost Mobile's customer service, you'll wait 35 minutes on the phone, and then someone will answer, and they're in Bangladesh somewhere. It's like, I'm not interested in that type of terrible customer service. Cricket customer service will answer the phone, but they can't actually really solve any issues because, to me, they're not trained to answer questions. A lot of people aren't. You get a job is a job. It's very few people that go over and beyond to know the type of work that they do. I'm one of those people, especially when I used to work for Metropcs back in the day. But like I said, I will say that the T-Mobile Metropcs customer service is a lot more responsive. They handle more issues. They'll credit your account if something goes wrong. They're just typically, it's a better experience overall. And for me, if I have better customer service, a superior network in terms of network speeds, because Metro customers' download and upload speeds are typically as fast as the parent company, T-Mobile itself. What I always say is, there's no reason to go to T-Mobile unless you're interested in getting that phone for the daily increments. Each month you pay off a phone. That's what these contract carriers are for. Even though they say they're not contracts, they are contracts. Let's be real, they are contracts. You can pay off your phone early, but it is a contract. You're signing paper. You're signing your rights. You're doing a background check. It's a contract. Let's be real. But if you can afford a phone, if you're not looking for a $2,000 phone, even if you are, I'd rather pay that money up front and have a $60 cell phone bill than pay $40, $50 with insurance every single month and then have a $100 cell phone bill for one line. And you're looking at $150, $160 for which one phone. Compared to, I have 5 lines, which 5 lines under this plan, it's actually right here. If you look, they give you a discount of $150. Plus I have a tablet, brings it up to $165, the $15 tablet line. I have the $6 insurance, that brings it up to $171, I believe. And then I have like the caller ID block feature, so it brings it like $173. And that's not bad for a flat rate phone, a $173, 5 unlimited lines. iPhone is on there at OnePlus 8T. I got from my wife, bought it straight out from Best Buy on sale for $5.99. I have the A52. My godson has the Alcatel 3V. He will not get rid of that awful phone because the screen is so big. So let him rock that out until just the wheels fall off. And my grandma had the flip phone. So like I said, I know I'm missing quite a few points about these services that I wanted to mention. It kind of just slipped my head, but I will say that out of all the companies, if you're looking for the best value, Metro by T-Mobile is without a doubt the best out of any prepaid carrier that the United States offers. But if you're in a rural area, you're used to the AT&T service, you're in the woods somewhere, that's a different story. Cricket will work perfectly fine for you. I don't suggest these side H2Os and these track phones and all this nonsense where you have to go to Walmart to get a refill card. That's fake to me. If you don't have a store or a business model where I could just talk to someone in customer service and you're very knowledgeable about the service, I'm not giving you my money. But anyway, next video, I'll talk about some of the port-in deals that Metro has, some of the port-in deals that Cricket has, some of the port-in deals that Boost Mobile has for people that already have these services, and for new customers. And again, like and subscribe, give me some some criticisms. If you don't like it, hit the dislike. If you do like it, hit the like, and I'll see you in the next video.